This outbuilding in our garden used to be a Victorian wash house. When we moved in, I poured a concrete floor and laid some free kitchen tiles that I got off Facebook Marketplace. It was meant to be an indoor chill out space next to the patio, but now it's a proper workshop and those tiles just aren't cutting it. I didn't fancy ripping them up and starting again, so in today's video I'm fitting the perfect flooring solution. It was just regular kitchen tile, fine for the house, but in a workshop they're cold, they crack and they don't really give you any protection when you drop something. I've been putting off replacing these for a while for a few reasons. Firstly, I didn't want the hassle or the mess of having to rip the tiles up, and secondly, most workshop flooring solutions like resin are really expensive. So when I saw these hard rubber tiles, I thought they might be perfect. And I can lay these straight over the tiles, leaving me with a durable workshop floor that's a bit more forgiving and even lets me swap sections out if they happen to get damaged. Better still, they come in at just over 150 quid. These are the Big Doug Essential Interlocking Vinyl Floor Tiles. They're 470 by 470 millimeters, 12 millimeter thick with a studded surface. You can get a checker plate style finish, but I thought this was more workshop vibes. They cost me £152.65 to cover the whole workshop space, and the beauty is it's a floating floor, so it can be laid straight over the floor tiles and they just lock together. You can get cheap foam versions, so be careful if you're looking to buy some. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check them out. So first things first, clearing out the workshop, which gave me the chance to give everything a good clean. I'm also removing the MDF offcut skirting boards so that the flooring can be fitted with a 10mm expansion gap all around the perimeter. Although the tiles were pretty flat, there was one slight raised area where I'd added some extra tiles in when the chimney breast was removed a while back, hence the slightly different colour tiles in this area. To sort this out, rather than removing the tile and filling the gap, I just ground the surface with the angle grinder to take the high spot off. The skirting boards on the back wall weren't easily removed, so I cut these to height with a multi-tool to allow the new tiles to fit under. The first row of tiles that will slot under here won't need joining tabs on them, so I removed them with the mini saw. Then I could start assembling what basically is a large rubber jigsaw puzzle. The tiles interlock and I use a mini rubber mallet to knock them together. It's a really simple installation process. You just go tile by tile, clicking them together. The edge against the left hand wall is all under the workbench, so rather than cutting a slice for against the wall, I just left a small gap as it won't ever be seen. By the time I got to the front wall, the tiles happened to nearly fit perfectly, so I just used the tabs that I'd cut from the back wall tiles and added these to the last row of tiles. With the main bulk of the flooring fitted, I decided to get the skirting boards refitted, and I gave the skirtings all a couple of coats of black paint just to smarten them up a bit. I then continued on and got the last few tiles fitted around the door area and under the workbench. I was also fitting a new diesel heater at the same time, and this was usually boxed in, so I thought I'd do the two jobs together and get the flooring fitted without having to cut it around the boxed in space. The final thing to do was to add these edge profile pieces across the door threshold. These finish it nicely, and it worked out almost perfect to the edge of the existing tiles. Then it was time to get all the tools back in. This was really satisfying because everything was clean and the casters on the larger tools rolled so much nicer on this floor than on the tiles. So that's the floor, all done. Straight away it felt so much better. It's quieter, more comfortable to kneel on, and I don't have to worry about damaging tools or tiles as much if something gets dropped. Feels a lot more like a proper workshop floor now. I'm really glad I went down this route. I had been considering ripping up the tiles and going back to bare concrete, but that would have taken forever. I thought about screeds, but I wasn't really confident that they'd hold up. So when I saw these rubber tiles for just over 150 quid, I knew they were worth a shot. They've transformed this space and are way more practical than the old tiles. I'd have loved to have put in a professional standard resin floor, but I just couldn't justify the cost. Maybe in the next workshop. So these ended up being the absolute perfect solution for in here. Next week I'm going to be showing you the other main updates that I've done to my workshop recently, including my new dust collector, so make sure you stick around for that one. And if you haven't already seen this tool wall build video, check that one out here. That's been a game changer for my cordless tool storage. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.